I was born in Anaheim, California, and I lived there for about a year. And then my father was transferred to Sacramento in California, northern part. We lived there for about a year. At that point, my father decided to go into the Army full-time. And so we went to Fort Sill, Oklahoma, and I lived there for about a year. He did that so he could advance in the National Guard, things like that. After that year of full-time tenure, we moved to Utah, where he was originally from, and my mother, so all of our grandparents, all my grandparents and cousins, aunts and uncles were there. We lived in the Salt Lake area for about 5 years, and then he was transferred in his job to Albuquerque, New Mexico. Lived in Albuquerque, New Mexico for about 5 years, then moved back to Utah with another transfer in terms of the job that he had. And that's where I spent most of my high school, was in the Utah area. After that, I did some service with my church for about 2 years and then went to college at the University of Utah. I'd always wanted to move to either Oregon or Washington or the New England area. I wanted to get to where there was more of a nature aspect, kind of slow down a little bit in terms of the lifestyle. So we just picked up and moved. I drove my Geo Metro across the United States. I love it here. I think it's beautiful. I love the school. I think I've found, when I was first interviewed here, it was the first time in any work situation where I felt like I fit in. I decided first to go into graphic design when I was in college. I was looking at getting a degree in fine art, in illustration specifically, and realized that in order to best get into that field, I needed to have experience, something that I could kind of fall back on. So graphic design became that road to get into the illustration field. More recently, I've started working with the Vermont Children's Theater. My children were involved in it this summer, and I went up to them and I said, I'd love to design posters for you. Showed them some of my work and they said, sure. So I've been doing that on a local basis. I've been trying to get some of the books that I've written and illustrated published. I'm finally able, after 8 years of teaching, starting to really get more illustration jobs, not only in the area but on a national level as well. These ones that we're looking at are projects that I've done for my advanced illustration class. I've been doing the projects along with the students. And every 2 weeks I will give the students a word and they have to illustrate that particular word. So this one here is an illustration of the word five. And my idea with that was to try and illustrate five without showing five. So the fifth bird is gone. It's been eaten by the cat. This particular one here is for the word hope. And we have a boy that's waiting for a larger puddle of water to be able to play in. And he's hopeful that this rain cloud is going to bring more water so he can have. This one here is Tenebris, which means dark and gloomy. These alien amoeba-like things have been popping up in my sketchbook for years now, and so I found an opportunity to actually move them into an actual final illustration. I call this my palette of ideas. They're just reoccurring themes that occur in my illustrations in my sketchbook that I then later bring into final illustrations when I get a chance.